So, thank you everyone for coming to our 300 sprint review. And as we know, sprint review is a very good opportunity for all of you to blame our Scrum team for not meeting their commitments. You can also find a scapegoat here and also cajole our Scrum team to increase the velocity in the next sprint. And even better, you can also compare our Scrum team's velocity with the other Scrum team's velocity. So in today's sprint review, we will demo you all of the functionalities that we have completed and also how we failed to hit our target velocity. Let's do this!
Yeah. Thank you for the long introduction. And can you just move on and show us what you completed this sprint and demo us the shopping cart functionality, please? Because that is the most important functionality to be completed this sprint.
So basically, what will happen is once you finish shopping, you can click this checkout button and then you will be prompted with this payment form. Is that understood?
Wait. Before you proceed, why is the checkout button blue instead of red? I thought we agreed on blue.
Many minutes later.
You know, we can just have a purple button instead of arguing whether we should have blue or red button.
So why do you have to be redirected to the payment form instead of popping up the dialog box instead?
But, that's not what you requested last sprint. How come you change your mind? You can't do this to us.
3 hours later.
Can you retrain us on Scrum fundamentals again? Isn't sprint review basically an opportunity for us to keep on changing our mind because we're lacking visions and goals?
So can you tell me why your team didn't deliver the payment using American Express? I thought you committed to do it during sprint planning.
Many hours later.
Did the junior developers take enough work this sprint, or are they also slacking?
See? I've been telling you. This is the problem with self-management. You can't trust the developers to self-manage. They must be managed. They're not mature enough.
There's no but. You have to do as I told you. I'm the CEO of the company. You hear me?
So what you just saw there is not a sprint review, folks. Even though, from my experience, I have seen many sprint reviews similarly like that. Now, if you want to know how a sprint review should look like, stick around because in today's video, we will learn about the sprint review. Before we learn more about the sprint review, I would like to greet you first. Awesome people. How has your week been going so far, folks? I hope your customers are praising you because they get tons of value from using your product. For those of you who have been following this channel, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Joshua Partogi. I'm a professional Scrum trainer based in Brisbane, Australia. Welcome on board to our community of passionate change makers. Before we start today's learning, let's go back to the past and recall what I said on my video about the increment in Scrum. Folks, if the sprint review at your workplace is still treated as a user acceptance testing or UAT session, you have a lot of homework to level up the game. Now, if you haven't watched my video on increment in Scrum, click the link up here to watch that video first, because in today's video, I will not repeat whatever that has already been covered on that video. I have broken down today's video into 3 segments. In the first segment, I will bust the myths around sprint review. In the second segment, I will answer some questions related to sprint review. And in the last segment, we will see an illustration of how a sprint review should look like. So let's start with the first segment and bust the myths around sprint review. There is a myth that the sprint review is like a user acceptance testing or UAT or demo session, where the Scrum team will demo the functionalities while the user will test the increment. Some people map sprint review to UAT or demo session. The sprint review is not about testing or demoing the output of the sprint. As written on Scrum Guide, the purpose of the sprint review is to inspect the outcome of the sprint and determine future adaptations. Focusing on outcome during sprint review is essential. So from my observation, in some cultures, outcome and output is perceived as the same thing. I'm not going to discuss the differences between outcome and output again in this video because I have already made a video about it. Now, if you haven't watched that video on outcome over output, you can click the link up here to watch that video first, because outcome will be highly emphasized throughout today's video. Now, within teams who still do manual acceptance testing, I mentor them on how to practice acceptance testing driven development or ATDD using tools like Cucumber. We all know that not only manual acceptance testing is error prone, it's also painful. Acceptance testing, whether it's done manually or automated, should be done before rather than during the sprint review. During sprint review, the increment should already be at a releasable state. If the acceptance testing has already been automated, acceptance testing can be executed multiple times in a sprint with no pain. There is a myth that sprint review is a phase gate or approval process before the increment can be released to the production environment. In Scrum Guide version 2020, it is stated that the sprint review is not a gate to releasing value. Scrum teams who already practice DevOps will release the increments multiple times before the sprint review using continuous integration, containerization, feature flagging, infrastructure as code, and canary release techniques. I've already made a video on how to use Scrum with DevOps. If you haven't watched that video, you can click the link up here to watch that video. There is a myth that the sprint review is the only time for the Scrum team to get feedback from the stakeholders and also from the customers. The sprint review is a collaborative event for people in the company to foresee how they can stay competitive in the market. Before the sprint review, the Scrum team can get feedback from the customers as much as needed so that the sprint goal can be achieved. You can call this feedback gathering session with any name you like and consider it as a complementary practice for Scrum. Now in this segment, I will answer the questions that I commonly get after I bust the myths that we have just discussed in the previous segment. Besides the Scrum team, anybody who has a stake in the product should attend the sprint review. This includes but is not limited to the actual customers, the senior management, the investors, delegates from other departments such as legal, risk, marketing, corporate governance, call center, etc. The point is, if people have a stake or an interest in the product being developed by the Scrum team, they should attend the sprint review and collaborate together with the Scrum team. As written on Scrum Guide, the Scrum team presents to the stakeholders. Now, as the product owner is part of the Scrum team and also accountable for the value of the product, I personally prefer the product owner to take the stage and present the outcome of the sprint to everyone who attends the sprint review. And also, keep in mind, as written on Scrum Guide, the Scrum team should avoid limiting sprint review only for presentation. The sprint review is about determining future possibilities based on the present situation. The first reason is because in a corporate setup, we need to book the senior management and the customer's time several weeks ahead and sometimes even several months ahead. We cannot just pull these people in an ad hoc manner. When there is a regular cadence to attend the sprint review, people who have a stake in the product can easily create recurring events for the sprint review in their calendar. Now, the second reason is because the Scrum team must align the product goal and the sprint goal to the corporate business strategy. The Scrum team also needs to hear insights from the other departments about the current market situation. There's no point in continuously releasing without knowing what's happening in the market. There's no point in going fast if you don't know your current position and your destination. The sprint review provides transparency about the outcome of the sprint and also the current market situation. As the sprint review has never been about acceptance testing or demoing the completed output, the Scrum team should present outcome metrics or evidence-based management metrics during sprint review to the stakeholders. Now, I have already made a video on EBM metrics. If you haven't watched that video, you can click the link up here to watch that video. And after you watch that video, make sure you download a sample EBM dashboard by clicking the link on the description section down below. You can use this sample EBM dashboard as an inspiration for creating your own EBM dashboard. And folks, don't forget to also read the latest EBM guide from Scrum.org website. Now let's look at how a sprint review should look like in the next segment.
So thank you everyone for joining our sprint review. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the product owner of our team, and today we will seek possibilities to increase the value of our product based on the current state of the market. I'll present to you the outcome that our product has delivered to our customers, and I will also present to you the evidence-based management metrics. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, thanks for that, John. So can you tell us the outcome of this sprint? Yeah, I would definitely be interested in this sprint outcome.
Thanks, Phil, for the question. So in this sprint, our team has released 20 increments 5 times into our production box. We have automated all of the testing and all of the deployment process to speed up the process in our value stream. 5% of our customers have already seen this increment, but unfortunately, only 10% out of those 5% have started using it.
So how about the download and the sign up rate? Did the new functionality entice the market to sign up and download our product?
Good question. So our download and sign up rate have also spiked up by 15% this sprint.
That's really awesome. So today, why don't we discuss the penetration strategy to increase our consumer usage index and also the stickiness rate? Shall we? So I think next sprint you can uncheck the feature toggle and open up the functionalities to more consumers. Let's see if that will increase our consumer usage index and stickiness metric. So before we close today's sprint review, can you share us the remaining budget? Do you think we have enough budget to achieve the product goal?
So looking at our remaining budget, we have $150,000 left, and based on the team's historical performance, with this amount of budget, we can stick around for another 3 sprints.
So how many more sprints to achieve the product goal?
So looking at our product goal and also our team's historical performance, based on our forecasts, we may need another 6 sprints to achieve the product goal.
So okay everyone, looking at our current situation, at the management level, we need to work out how to pump up additional $200,000 and the product goal must be achieved.
So in general, what you just saw is what should happen during every sprint review. The sprint review should focus on the outcome rather than the output of the sprint. When the sprint review is focused on outcome over output, it's actually not much different to the corporate monthly review or quarterly review meeting at your workplace. Before the sprint review, the increment should already meet the definition of done or at a state where it can be released. Scrum teams who already practice DevOps took 10 steps further by releasing the increments multiple times in a sprint, so the outcome metrics can be available for sprint review. Besides outcome metrics, during the sprint review, the participants should also look at the market condition, customer feedback, remaining budgets, how far is the company towards achieving the product goal, and whether additional funding is needed to achieve the product goal. The product goal is the center of Scrum, because in Scrum, both the sprint goal and the product backlog are tightly coupled to the product goal. Watch my videos on the product goal, the product backlog, and also the sprint goal that are available on this channel. So that is all from me today, folks. If you have any more questions about the sprint review, just leave a comment in the comment section down below. In today's video, I didn't go into the technical details of DevOps practices that make an outcome-driven sprint review possible, but I do hope today's video gives you some inspiration to level up how the sprint review will be conducted at your workplace in the near future. And you know the drill, folks. Don't forget to do all of those things that you must do after watching videos on YouTube. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, click the like button down below, and watch other videos on this channel by clicking the thumbnails here and also down there. See you until my next video, folks. Until then, stay safe and don't forget to stay awesome.